Russia and Iran are building a new transcontinental trade route, stretching from the eastern edge of Europe to the Indian Ocean, a 3,000-kilometer passage that's beyond the reach of any foreign intervention. Though it sounds easy, there are plenty of obstacles, and both Russia and Iran are spending heavily to overcome them. The two countries are spending billions of dollars to speed up delivery of cargoes along rivers and railways linked by the Caspian Sea. The goal is to shield commercial links from Western interference and build new ones with the giant and fast-growing economies of Asia. The emerging trade corridor would allow Russia and Iran to shave thousands of kilometers off existing routes. At its northern end is the Sea of Azov, which is bracketed by the Crimean Peninsula, Ukraine's southeastern coast, including the Russian-occupied port of Mariupol and the mouth of the River Don. Yet spending billions on a project doesn't solve all the problem. In fact, this project may land the countries in even bigger crisis. At an economic forum in September, Putin underlined the need to develop the ship, rail, and road infrastructure along the route that will provide Russian companies with new opportunities to enter the markets of Iran, India, the Middle East, and Africa, and will facilitate supplies from these countries in return. The project is more crucial for Iran amid the delayed efforts to restore the 2015 deal with world powers. Iran's support for Russia, along with its deadly crackdown on nationwide protest, has left its government increasingly cut off from the West. Chegina estimates Russia and Iran are investing as much as $25 billion. This will explore all loopholes to transport banned products and weapons. That alarms the US and its allies as they seek to block transfers of Iranian drones and other military supplies, which they say are aiding the Russia's war in Ukraine. Beyond the arms trade between the countries, there are other compelling economic reasons for the new transit route. The two countries have announced a raft of new business deals that cover goods including turbines, polymers, medical supplies, and automotive parts. Russia also supplies nuclear fuel and components for Iran's reactor in Bushehr. Russia needs to compensate for the sudden breakdown of its commercial ties with Europe, which before the war was its biggest trade partner. Russia is planning to invest $1 billion to improve navigability across the Azov, into the Don River, and across the canal linked to the Volga. Hundreds of ships a day travel through the passage, linking the Black and Caspian Seas. This gives rise to the traffic jams routinely building up around the narrowest points. The Don-Volga Canal is a 101-kilometer stretch of man-made passages and natural reservoirs, linking the two rivers at their closest point. The shallowness of some parts of the waterway restricts the size of vessels shipping product, such as Russian grain, to about 3,000 tons of capacity. Modernizing the canal could allow ships twice that size to pass through. Russia is finalizing rules that would give ships from Iran right of passage along inland waterways on the Volga and Don rivers. The Tehran-based Isra made a $10 million investment in a port along the Volga. The aim is to almost double the cargo capacity at the Solyanka port in the Russian city of Astrakhan to 85,000 tons a month. Iran is also expanding a rail network that already runs about 16,000 kilometers and is part of the UNESCO World Heritage List. Iranian officials say they're fully focused on scrapping any plans to revive economic ties with Europe and instead pursuing a turn of trade and energy agreements with Russia, China, and Central Asian nations. Russia is sending grain to India via Iran's port in Bandar Abbas. For both Russia and Iran, India is a crucial node in the networks they're trying to build. The first 12 million-ton shipment of Russian grain bound for India has already transited Iran. Trade flows could increase if Iran manages to connect the unfinished and much-delayed Chabahar port complex on the Indian Ocean. Chabahar has so far been exempt from U.S. sanctions, but it may now draw fresh inquiry from the U.S. due to the project. Mali, the White House Iran envoy, said, "If any entity is involved in violation of our sanctions with regard to assistance to Russia or any of the other areas in which Iran has been sanctioned, they too will be subject to sanction." Success or failure is beyond the control of the two countries themselves. It will hinge on whether other countries, from India to the Middle East, which are all being urged by the U.S. and its allies to comply with sanctions, agree to do so or opt to defy the pressure.